And welcome back to the Arizona Cardinals franchise rebuild. Well, it's the 20-year rebuild. We're here doing year number 8. This will be the 8th episode of the series so far. I hope you guys are having a great day. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, like the video. You guys all know the ordeal. I hope you guys are all doing well. I greatly appreciate all the love and support for this series. It's been a lot of fun making it, and we're now here in year 8, really at a crucial point of the rebuild. You know, we're a team that in 7 seasons, 7 seasons, we've had Justin Herbert, Kyler Murray, and we've won 3 playoff games, lost 3. We're kind of becoming an aging roster, as, you know, Marvin Harrison Jr. here has just turned 30 years old. And, you know, players are getting, you know, the drafted players that we have now are kind of hitting, you know, needing new contracts. We're not a young team anymore, and our window essentially has closed. We went 3-14 this season, as Herbert regressed massively at the end of the year and did not play very well. I think these are still starting caliber ratings for our veteran quarterback here that we traded for, but I just don't see a direction in keeping Herbert long term anymore and going in a new direction. And we also have the first overall selection. Keep that in mind, guys. So when you look immediately at this offense, here are some things to point out. You know, Jahmyr Gibbs here, entering into the last year of his deal, also 30 years old. Marvin Harrison Jr., he's 30 years old, has 2 years left on his deal, and those are our top 2 playmakers. After that, you got Wade Rayford, who had a fantastic season, but he's a slot guy. He's never going to be, in my opinion, I think Wade proved that he's a number 2 receiver in our league, but that's about it. We drafted a season ago Joey Helms here, a 6'5" prospect, but he really did not produce. And, you know, am I looking to try to restart at wide receiver after a pretty okay, you know, these are very bad for the top 10 pick? Yeah, this is not at all what I expected. So what do we do to give whoever is our next quarterback, you know, more weapons and quality weapons? Keep also this in mind, guys. We have $38 million. We are a very led by veterans and paying players. You know, 4 out of our 5 linemen are currently being paid at least some level of a contract after their first one. You know, Daniel Cashier, who could be a player that we look to move off of, just try to get a draft pick for. You know, he's solid offensive lineman, entering the last year of his deal. I don't know what we're gonna do with him just yet, if we're gonna look to trade him or not, but we have 1 guy. So this is a spot where we need to be able to maybe get younger. I mean, Blake Sherwood, first ever drafted player, already gonna be reaching 30 years old. He's a below average guard or tackle right now. You know, could he be on the move? I do have a couple players' names written down that I might trade today. But yeah, tight end. You know, we tried the experiment here with Rashad Kitchens here, and he did not look good. You know, he's a well-rounded guy, and you know, this is something that I've considered, is moving him to wide receiver, just because his, you know, even though his catching rating isn't the best, his route runnings are in a solid spot. He would be a physical receiver. That might be something that I do with Kitchens. I don't know just yet. And then when you flip it over here to the defense, I mean, we brought in Ty Cook, Thurman, Elijah Fletcher. I think these 3 guys all prove that they're solid players. Jalen Dixon, he's been developing nicely as that 3rd defensive tackle. And Cole Beckham here, we have to make the decision on his 5th-year option. But this is also a spot at a 26, 27-year-old pass rusher in a couple, if we pick up the option, it would be 27, that we will probably already have to consider drafting or bringing in a new one. So is Cole Beckham on the move? Orlando Thomas here, who we drafted 3rd overall 5 years ago. He's developed nicely, but he is, he's not the 3rd overall pick worthy type of guy. He's really had, in my opinion, his first 2 years were very solid. And then in these last handful of years, it's been pretty okay. So corner becomes also immediately a need. If we let Thomas go, Macklin is expected to be a free agent. We traded away Moreland, and now we have 3 young linebackers, all on our 2 outside guys are on rookie deals, but Lawrence here, who we traded for and just extended him, he's kind of becoming the captain of this defense. And this is something else that this team needs, is talent. So this is I guess the interesting point of the franchise, where do we sit back and say to ourselves that we're not going to win a Super Bowl in the next 2-3 years? Is it time to clean house and try to kind of start over here? We have a lot of guys under contract. We have a lot of solid players. But do we look to move off of a couple of them to just try to get some future capital? That's really what we're going to try to find out here today, and what direction I decide to go down. In terms of retirements, just because we're kind of getting later in the franchise, there's probably more players that we know, like Brandon Ayuk retired, Jake Elliott, Quentin Williams, Jairi Alexander retires, Josh Hines Allen, AJ Brown. So a lot of guys that, we know in real life, 7 years or 8 years now into the future. So let's go make some decisions here. We currently have $39 million in cap. And these are our free agents. Our 2 big ones here are these 2 with Orlando Thomas and Cole Beckham here. Then you have Elton Macklin here, a veteran that we brought in, and some other guys, Mike Cannon we drafted, but I'm not looking to extend him. I think this is pretty simple, is we're not going to bring back any of these guys. These 2 decisions, this is what I've been still pondering about. For Cole Beckham here, picking up the 5th-year option, so that's a lot of money. He's a top 25 pass rusher, and he did have an okay enough season where you could argue that, keep him around for another 2 seasons at probably his peak, and see what he can do for you. He put up 12 TFLs, 4 sacks in how many, games? 17 games, almost 1,000 snaps. So in his previous 2 seasons, he mainly played special teams, but he got a few TFLs here and there. His motivations, he wants a mentor at the position. We did draft him in the 1st round, though. $17 million. I think we're going to pick up the 5th-year option here for Cole Beckham. I was debating about it, but if you think about it, he's probably going to get 1 or 2 more upgrades in his career, unless he really has a breakout season. And even if things don't work out, like if he goes out there and does not play well, we could look to trade him during, next season, the year prior or the year afterwards. So really kind of now becomes the decision here on Orlando Thomas here. He does want to be here. This would eat up a good chunk of change for us, but he has decreased his offer. He is 27. Again, he was a 1st-round pick that we drafted. I mean, do we try to, again, try to keep the core together? And I think Orlando Thomas is a solid player, but I'm not going to look to bring him back. I think going into this open free agency with as much money as we can, we will check it out, see what free agents are out there, and see what moves we can make. I mean, to start right off the rip, you know, Patrick Mahomes, Quentin Martinez here, Sam Wade here, Orlando Thomas, who already has a ton of interest across the league, and he looks to be the prize at corner. Yeah, there is a massive drop off here for corner. So this does mean that, you know, Orlando Thomas, due to the fact of how much of a need this position is, we might be forced our hand here to sign him or attempt to, but I don't know just yet. In terms of bringing in a veteran quarterback, I mean, there's a few. Got Patrick Mahomes, Bryce Young, you know, Brandon Morrow here. He is a drafted quarterback, played already 7 seasons in the league. What's he's done? He's been a Pittsburgh Steeler, and he was drafted with the 21st overall pick. So, I mean, you know, and there's some other quarterbacks down the line here. We all know Sammy Leonard, who I drafted. So, I mean, do we look to bring in one of these guys to maybe play for a season? I don't know. Not really thinking about running back, but running back soon enough will have to be a position of need. For receiver, this is a very, you know, you need a number 3 receiver, you got it. Tight end, well, this is a spot where I could see myself consider bringing in a tight end. I mean, Jake Ferguson, you know, be a solid veteran, or bring in one of these 2 other young guys. I think our offensive line is set, but I mean, let's just take a quick peek. I didn't look at this last offseason. You know, we could go after like a guy like James Hunter, you know, Jordan Mailata maybe, but Kevin Fulton here, he could be a solid starter for a team. I don't know. Pass rusher wise, yeah, this is not the best free agent class. So I'm not thinking defensive tackle. Why did I even look? In terms of linebacker, nothing really out here besides Tevin Shorts, who's probably much more of a pass rusher, and he is. Shorts with 92. I mean, he's a top 6 pass rusher in this league. He's played for Houston, but has not put up any sort of numbers like he's supposed to. So I think, I don't know what we're gonna do here in free agency. There might be a move or two, but I think I'm gonna make a couple trades right now. Well, this is one trade that I'm gonna be doing, and probably my only trade, and that's trading away Seth Bennett here, our backup quarterback, who did not play particularly well, and Deon Fulton, a number 4 receiver, and we're gonna trade for Alex Murray, a corner. I think that right now, you know, we need to find some secondary depth regardless if we go after Thomas again. And I think Alex Murray can provide that for his season. Star dev, 24 years old. You know, he's a solid cover corner. You know, between him and, you know, Mario Hughes, who we drafted, who actually has started to develop pretty nicely for us. I mean, we have 2 young guys to back up. Well, really 1, but still. But corner becomes the biggest need and probably the only left decision to be made. I am going to be keeping around Justin Herbert for right now, just in case. I mean, he does not have the mentor tag, unfortunately, but still has a year on his deal. There might be a couple other moves. Actually, I do want to adjust some salary. Starting off here with Joey Douglas here, our starting center. I just want to move some money around, kind of start, you know, he's not making a ton, and, you know, this will free up a bit more money. Just trying to push some of this cash back. I'm doing this with a couple other players as well. The reason for it is, you know, he doesn't even get close to $10 million, and I think we could do it over the next handful of seasons. Another player that we just gave a contract to is to Chase Green. Another starting offensive lineman, restructure his deal, getting some money back. And then the final player is for Wade here. And this is only freeing up a few $1 million. But that's okay with me. Every dollar counts in this game. So I got a couple targets here, and Cortland Bowman here, and in Mike Jenkins, tight end and a corner. So I'm not going to target Orlando Thomas. I'm going to let him go. We still have about $34 million even after these 2 contracts. There might be some more contracts I do later on, but I think getting, you know, a number 2 corner here in Bowman makes a lot of sense, and getting a number 1 tight end who has good hands, good speed. We did get Bowman for Jenkins. He's still waiting around. I don't think he made a decision. He did. So we got all 3, or both of them. They're on small contracts. Cortland's for a season, and Jenkins is over the next 2. So we have 2 new Cardinals. And here's the free agency recap here. The Panthers got a big-time guard. Patrick Mahomes is going to go to Atlanta. Same way, going to go to the Ravens. Orlando Thomas here is going to go to the Falcons, joining the, I think I said the Ravens, actually. He's joining the Falcons as Patrick Mahomes, as well as Orlando Thomas, who got his contract. Just not something that I was super comfortable doing. There's still some big name free agents out there, so we do have some money, but that's probably going to be after the draft that we make a couple more moves. And here's the current state of the team. You know, we have a new starting tight end here in Mike Jenkins. He'll start for the next handful of years, and he'll be a good receiving option for us. You know, I think we have our number 1. We have our top 2 running backs, our top 2 receivers. We're going to give Joe another opportunity. I do think maybe drafting an offensive lineman somewhere in this class makes a whole lot of sense. Quarterback is top on the list. We have the first overall pick, and there's 2 quarterbacks in this class that I'm going to look to draft here. We added Cortland Bowman here, a 26-year-old corner, and you know, he's a solid number 2. He's on the lower end. He's more of a borderline number 3, but corner is something else that I'm looking to do. We also did make a trade for Alex Murray, and just kind of getting some depth. We might try to get an edge rusher in this class. I don't know just yet. We'll see. But we have the first overall pick as well as the 12th overall pick. And this is also the first time you guys have seen the class. Sorry about that. But here's the draft class. It has you know, quarterback, a corner, who's Larry Forbes here says a top 5 talent. Wow. Don't forget this, guys. We have a couple later round picks. We have 2 seconds and 2 4s in this class. So, I mean, let's start here with the quarterbacks, because this is where I'm taking my guy. There's 3 projected to go in the top 1 to 2. Will Birdley here is the quarterback out of Arizona who likes to go deep with it. Elite strength, elite throw power. He's a pocket passer, as well as he's from Arizona, which would be an interesting storyline to say the least. Eddie, I almost drafted Eddie here, but Eddie Traynor here is a much more of a, you know, he has solid accuracies, he has good speed, he's a solid enough athlete, he's a scrambler archetype, and he has B injury. The C awareness definitely concerns me. And then Caden Cantrell here, maybe the best arm in the class, 24 years old, an improviser. Cantrell, is he the best quarterback in this class? This is kind of tough, because what type of quarterback do you want? Do you want a mobile-ish type of quarterback? Do you want the pocket passer? You know, when you look from day 1, you see 2 A's here for Clade. He just does a little bit of ratings-wise everything better. Though both of their injuries are not good, and Eddie's is solid. So does injury become, you know, a difference in this class? It looks like throw under pressure and break sack is a little bit higher for Will. So who will be the first pick for us? And with the first pick in this year's NFL draft, it will be Will Birdley here, the 22-year-old quarterback out of Arizona. I really like the storyline of him going from Arizona to staying in Arizona. He's the 25th ranked player in this class with hidden development, 97 throw power, and 71 speed is not terrible. He has solid strength. The hidden development helps a lot. I think we just drafted our quarterback of the future, ladies and gentlemen. The Falcons have the next pick, and they just signed Patrick Mahomes. But we have the 12th pick, and this kind of becomes now, the question is, you know, do we like Larry enough to go up there and try to trade for it? 23 years old, so he's an older prospect. He does not have he's a solid athlete. It's solids across the board. As well as he has F injury. Does it make sense to try to trade up to go get Larry here? Are there any other? I did look at another corner here. And that's Deion Fitzpatrick here, who also has top 5 talent. Coverage-wise, a bit lower, but younger, fastest in the class. And he's also strong too, with also F injury. But maybe Deion Fitzpatrick is the better option for 12. So I think for right now, I'm going to just sim. I want to see where one of these corners go because I like both of them. Larry goes here at 2, and that's not really what I wanted to see because I kind of wanted one of them, and with already one off the board, you know, we have another quarterback here. Okay, he's a little bit down the board here in Fitzpatrick. Do you think we could snag him in the second round, or do we try to draft him here in the first round? But I do think he will make it to us, as the Texans just draft themselves a pass rusher here. The Colts here, back-to-back edge goes. It turns into a defensive class. And there goes the second corner, excuse me, Cameron Verse here. Not the guy that I want. And then Dwight Moreland here, the top wide receiver in this class. Then Terry Cash goes, an edge rusher. There's very few of them. Deion Johnson here, a wide receiver. 3 more picks until us. As Miles White goes here to the Dolphins, another receiver. This is a defensive or a receiver heavy class. I think we could snag one later on. As 2 outside linebackers go, and we are on the clock. You know, we have the 12th overall pick. Don't forget this. We also have our we have 2 second round picks as well. So Deon Matthews, a top 5 tackles on the board. We see that the other quarterback in Clay, he's made it all the way down here to 12. So could have we waited on a quarterback? Potentially. So that could have been another direction. Didn't even think about it, but that's because I was kind of sold on the quarterback. In terms of receivers, I'm not looking to draft one here. You know, I think that this becomes best player on the board, which I guess theoretically would be Deion here. He has the most. We have the most information on him, and we do need a corner. So let's make this simple. Deion Fitzpatrick, welcome to Arizona. As he is a top 5 prospect. We got him 12th A+ selection, hidden development, 21 years old, might I add. I don't think we've drafted young corners. And now we just got one here. And I think, you know, I think that's it here for the first round. I'm not looking to trade back in. I don't really know long-term wise how our safety group is going to stay together. So DeAndre Howard, I think he's the best player on the board. We're going to select him with the 33rd overall pick. Number 2 in the class, hit normal development, a good enough athlete. I think DeAndre Howard here, I mean, we just got a steal here in the top of the second round. But I think adding a safety helps us kind of shore up that we don't have to re-sign the safeties that we currently have. One thing that I do want to end this class with is a good tight end. I think Bobby Summers, he's the most intriguing option here. I know we just signed a veteran to a 2-year contract, but we need to make sure that we have a young guy that we're developing. And Bobby here has hidden development, 89 speed. He's a good athlete with 73 strength to back it up. Okay, he can do a little bit of everything then. Going back to a position of need, Joe Ellis here, a left guard. We need to make sure we shore up this line, and top 30 offensive linemen. This is nice. We are having an excellent draft. Hidden development as well to back it up. 87 strength. And our lone 3rd round pick, we might have just got a steal in the 3rd round. And we're taking our next 2 4th round picks, so we're trading them both away to the Giants in our next year's 3rd round pick for a future Giants 2nd round selection. So maybe just trying to get some future capital here for us and let the Giants have 3 picks here in the 4th round. Phillips here in the 5th round will be the receiver. Wanted to get a young receiver already, and he's a top 40 prospect. Normal dev, 90 speed, which is good enough for me. So a solid receiver here in the 5th round. We're nailing this class. Wanted to get another back in the backfield, so Sammy Finn here will be the selection. As we get a little cut screen here. And he's a 200th ranked player. Normal dev, 88 speed. He'll be a solid 3rd back, just good depth for us. We're going to take into the 7th round Manny Joseph, a UDFA projected player. Just trying to get some depth, and he's ranked 135. I just kind of took a shot at Manny, and I think we close out the draft with a very good selection. I wanted this team to get younger, and I wanted to target positions that I think both in the future and need, and I think we did exactly that. As we see with our first 5 selections, 4 of them were in the 2nd to 1st round, and 3rd round at the beginning of the 3rd. Home run pick here in the 5th, though. So we'll start here with our new starting quarterback, and Will Brickley here. The 22-year-old strong-arm quarterback, hidden dev. Accuracies day 1 are solid. 82 injury. I'm excited to have our new rookie quarterback getting his first real opportunity. Then we got the 2nd player of this class, Dion Fitzpatrick. With his great speed, he's a good size. He struggles in tackling. A little injury prone, but I think Dion will day 1 be our number 1 guy or our number 2 guy. Then DeAndre Howard here, a 78 safety, normal dev though. I think we can develop him nicely. He'll be a solid safety depth as well, really. You know, tight end Bobby Summers, another hidden dev player. 89 speed, good catching at 79. I thought his blocking would have been a little bit higher, but I think it's something that we could work on. He's also a bit injury prone. That's 43 players. Then Joe Ellis here, the 22-year-old guard that we drafted. Ratings-wise, well-rounded to start off. So, you know, how many of these guys are going to start day 1? That's really the question here. And then Thad Phillips here, a 21-year-old slot receiver. And, you know, he can make some plays. You know, heck, he could even play running back if we really wanted him to. I do like Thad, especially because we got him in the 5th round. Sammy Phillips here and Manny Joseph here. He was the last pick, 68 overall. Just a pure pass rusher. Sometimes that's all you're looking for. Now, I did pass up on 2 other quarterbacks that I could have had my, pick in, and they fell almost. Are they out of the first? Oh yeah, they were out of the 1st round. Cantrell here goes to the Falcons. Now he's going to be the backup here for Patrick Mahomes. Clay, solid accuracies across the board, and yeah, he has the best accuracies It's okay mobility-wise, but it was just not something, you know, but the hidden development definitely sweetens the pot. And then here comes Eddie at 73, also normal dev. So we got the only hidden dev quarterback in this class. So I think we nailed it, at least from that perspective. As this will be the opening day roster for year 8, excuse me. We're gonna go with Will Britley here. The first overall pick in this past class, wearing number 8 for us. Yeah, I'm gonna keep him at number 8. I don't mind that. But new rookie quarterback, he has Jahmyr Gibb and Marvin Harrison Jr. to support him big time. And then he has Wade Rayfield and Mike Jenkins, two kind of solid veteran guys. Throw on top, you got Joey Holmes, Bobby Summers. An offensive line, but we're gonna go to Joe Ellis here. I'm gonna just start the rookie from day 1. Not even gonna think about it. Flipping it over here to the defense here. We see the 12th overall pick in Deion Fitzpatrick. He's gonna be the new number 2 corner next to Tommy Brumble. And this is gonna be the defensive line. Deion Dixon will be playing as that other pass rusher. So Ty Cooks will be mostly a run stopper for us. Our 3 linebackers, our safeties. This should be a fun season, a tough year, because we have a rookie quarterback. And we start off versus, of course, Patrick Mahomes and the Atlanta Falcons. As we start the year off in the first career game for Will Britley, he goes out there and wins us the game. Beating up on Patrick Mahomes a bit, as well as Orlando Thomas, who we just recently let go. We then turn around and beat the Dallas Cowboys, and that gives us a 2-0 start. And now the first look here at our up-and-coming free agents. You know, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Thurman, Brandon Stockter, DeAndre Kennedy, Rashad Kitchens. I mean, we have a few starters. We have even Justin Herbert, who needs a new deal. But already off to a 2-0 start. Let's sim a couple weeks and see how far we can go this season. And we've made it to week 7 here, and we're 4-1. Currently, one of the 3 better teams here in the division. San Francisco's kind of having an improved year. And so far, so good here for the Cardinals. Will has thrown 10 touchdowns, and the game is being slow here, but Will has thrown 10 touchdowns, 3 interceptions here. You know, we don't know his development trait just yet, but we'll find that out soon enough. So not a terrible start here. He's mostly managing the game, which is kind of what I expect from our rookie quarterback. Running wise, Jahmyr Gibbs has not been too efficient here, but still 3 scores. It's kind of been the passing game that has taken a bit more of a spark of life. Marvin Harrison Jr. off to a hot start. Wade's playing well. Jahmyr Gibbs out of the backfield. Joey's, again, not doing much. Mike Jenkins is playing solid, but he's hurt. And he's going to miss another week. So he's been a solid tight end, but Bobby Summers has played in his replacement, and he has at least one score over him. This offensive line, they're playing solid. The rookie has allowed the most sacks. Defensively, Elijah Fletcher and Thurman, each with 5, and Cole Beckham here already with 4. Don't forget this, guys. We gave him his 5th-year option, and I don't know how many more upgrades he's going to get, but he's off to a great start, at least through the first handful of months of this campaign. 1 interception for the 12th overall pick in Deion Fitzpatrick. I don't know where the rest of the guys are. They're kind of swatting passes away, mostly at safety. I don't know what Timmy is doing. But off to a pretty good start here. I saw that we have the 30th ranked offense, at least in terms of passing. Yeah, we have a top tier defense. It has been our offense that just can't really put up yards. They can score somehow. So we're currently sitting here at $87 million. Looking at our potential free agents, we kind of have a few different tiers here. I would say the 2 most important tiers is Thurman here and Jahmyr Gibbs. The thing is this, we can definitely give this contract to Thurman and I would be happy. For Gibbs, I need to see regression before I even consider offering him any sort of contract. For players like Brandon Stockton, DeAndre Kennedy, these are two solid defensive starters, but we just drafted a safety in the second round, so Kennedy might just be let go for that reason alone, and Stockton doesn't even want to be here. Could these be two players we look to trade in the next handful of weeks? Rashad Kitchens, I mean, maybe. He's just an interesting player. And then we have a few other guys, solid depth, but just young depth in our kicker and punter. And Tremaine Weston, his fifth-year option, is this up-and-coming decision. So let's now send the next, let's get to week 9 and see what we can do here. We have the Seattle Seahawks. We lost to them. So now we're sitting here at 4-2, facing off the Eagles. I think if we lose this game, we don't. We're now 5-2 here. And as we see, we have a linebacker breakout opportunity. But now kind of the pause of hesitation here is, do we look to make any sort of trades? I accidentally just kind of hit X, and we'll see if Alan Williams here can get 6 tackles and an interception. I don't think he can. I probably should have chose a different goal for him. That's okay. I think the first move that I want to make here is make sure we keep Thurman long term. I'm going to actually give him a 4-year a 3-year contract. I like Thurman as a defensive tackle. We drafted him, and I think that's smart. I think this kind of becomes now for DeAndre Kennedy and Stockton if we want to trade them. Maybe that guy like a Cortland Bowman here, just move off of him, just try to get some value back. I think we're going to make a couple trades here, folks. I'm trading a king's ransom here for Tennessee's first-round pick, projected right around in the top 10, the later top 10, like 9. Trading away Stockton, DeAndre Kennedy, Cortland Bowman, a second, a fourth, and a 6. So they're gonna get an extra second. They're gonna have 2 2s, 2 4s, 2 6s, and 2 24-year-old defenders with an 81 overall corner. I think that this is a very fair trade for both teams. Maybe a bit of an overpay on my end, but I wanted to make sure that we had a first-round pick. These are 3 guys that I'm just not looking to keep long-term. So turning more to the youth of this team, even though we have a 5-2 record. As we've made it right around week 14, week 15, we just got the news. Marvin Harrison Jr. is now out for the next 7 weeks. And this is just not an injury that we can really, at any time, suffer. The last 2 years, he's missed time due to injury, and it shows here. I mean, Marv's has been our number 1 guy, and unfortunately, he has struggled at times, and now he's out, and now coming off a loss here to the Packer, or the, what's it called? The Patriots, putting us down to 6-5. We might be an outsider looking in this postseason, but don't forget this, guys. We doubled our wins from a year ago, which is definitely a nice sight to see. That just kind of means that Wade is going to start, Joey will play, we're going to see the rookie play more, Bobby Summers. We see our 2 of our offensive, all 3 of our guys we drafted are all normal development or start of at dev, and I think those were the only hidden development guys. But we're sticking with the youth of this team, and we're going to see if, these remaining games, if we can make maybe a playoff run. Well, under our new rookie quarterback, we go 8-9. In the last handful of weeks, we started losing players left and right, and we were the number 8th seed, a couple games behind the Buccaneers, who went 10-7. Yeah, I mean, it's a bounce back season from a year ago where we did not make the postseason. We see that Will here had a solid campaign. It looks like he won some type of award here. He got over 3,500 passing yards, which is nice. But he threw 26 touchdowns, 13 picks. Solid season from a rookie. A good amount of development, which will help him. And this is the type of year that I expected. Now, 700 yards here for Jahmyr Gibbs and 7 scores. That's not what I expected whatsoever. And I think that this kind of puts Jahmyr most likely as a player that we're not going to look to return. 3 straight seasons now with less than 1,000 yards. And, I mean, his production is just kind of slowing down here. Now, this year he was hurt. We benched him in the last 4, so he probably would have hit 1,000 yards here. But still, Gibbs becomes a player that might have to just kind of be looked up, just moved off of. In terms of receiving, Wade Rayfield, first time ever in this series that we've had a back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver, and he provided that. 7 scores as well. Marvin Harrison Jr. goes out there, scores 4 times. He dealt with an injury, played in 11 games, and he looked solid in those games. Bobby Summers became our starting tight end, and I'm happy we turned to the rookie. Joey Holmes, same type of season. He's just not playing well. Joey might be one of those players that we look to move off of. Now, Jahmyr did add a lot of talent in terms of catching the football. 500 yards is nothing to write home about or to laugh about. That's nice to see. We see Mike Jenkins adds, 36 grabs and a score. Thad Phillips played solid for us, so receiving wise, it looked good. This offensive line, though, struggled. The rookie allowed 12. The left side allowed 22 sacks. Jay Streen was really the only dependable lineman for us, as well as, he was the only dependable. Okay, never mind. Lawrence here leads us in tackles, as well as, and we got back to the sacks production. Thurman, Eliza Fletcher, Cole Beckham each had 10 plus TFLs. And then they each had 9.5 plus sacks. Thurman and Elijah Fletcher each had 11. Cole Beckham had 9.5. And then you see this massive drop off. I think this was a smart move on our end to give Cole Beckham the 5th-year option. He went out there and proved himself to being a solid edge rusher. And that's exactly kind of what he needs to do. And if he can have another similar season like he just did with Fletcher and Thurman, I think our defensive line can get a lot better. 2 interceptions all year long. That is not good enough. I don't know what to say. That's just unfortunate. Let's check out yearly awards. MVP goes to Lamar. Chris Roberts for the Falcons. Are there any Cardinals? Not even offensive rookie of the year. I thought Will was going to win it, but Dwight Landmore, the top receiver, he wins it. We don't even. I don't think that we will have another candidate. And that's unfortunate because, our kicker did, but was really hoping for that rookie of the year. Pro Bowl roster, let's see. Any Cardinals whatsoever? Not seen any just yet. Maybe guard? No. Elijah Fletcher makes it in. Thurman makes it in. So 2 of our defensive stars will get some more experience, but back-to-back no postseasons, but we did improve from a year ago, from having the 3rd overall pick to probably now having a mid-teens pick. As the Atlanta Falcons will be getting a Super Bowl win in this franchise, they beat the Denver Broncos with Patrick Mahomes 21-7 as Mahomes wins the MVP. So, guys, we're going to go into year number 9 with now not so many questions, still questions at hand. Guys, at the end of the day, we have our quarterback. He's gonna have 5 upgrades that I'll do. Jahmyr Gibbs, will he stay or will he go? I'm leaning towards probably letting him go. He's still a tough fit. There is still room that he could stay on the roster, actually. But, you know, the decision on Gibbs is probably the last big one that we have to make. But we know that we have ourselves a number 2 wide receiver. We have a lot of young guys that we drafted and did play well and have earned a good amount of XP, and that will help us. Defensively, we see now Cole Beckham, Thurman, as well as Elijah Fletcher now all have superstar development. That's nice to see. We see 6 points here for Dion Fitzpatrick. That's going to allow us to have a true number 2 corner. You know, we moved off of one of our linebackers. We'll probably need to bring someone in. But I think across the board, this team is getting both younger and a bit cheaper. And that's, at the end of the day, that's what we needed. You know, when I first looked at this roster beforehand, we were just a very aging roster. And now we're at a point where, you know, our oldest players are our punter and kicker. You know, Justin Herbert will go. He was a backup offensive lineman. You know, here comes the first really starter that's going to be on the roster for the next handful of seasons that is high overall and older. But we're starting to see a bit of a change going to the youth, and maybe that could help us. I mean, we have a lot of guys, you know, that I think that are young, that can make some plays for us, as well as we can kind of continue to try to develop here. You know, Joey here, wide receiver is going to be an interesting talking point because, you know, Wade, he is a back-to-back 1,000-yard receiver. Marvin, he's entering into the last year of his deal. You know, then we have 2 younger guys behind them that are solid overall and have good attributes. Is Joey the odd man out here? At 24 years old, currently will be somewhere around an 80, 82 overall. But he has not played to the standard that I expected a top 10 talent to play. So we shall see. But I do hope you guys enjoyed today's action. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and I will see you in year 9. Again, I appreciate all the support. I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you in the next one.